What's going on? Today, I want to start the video by reading a quote, and then I want to go more detailed into that quote and really talk about the nature of happiness, how to achieve happiness without even doing anything, right? How to always abide in that happiness and live your day, live your life every single day through happiness rather than constantly chasing it like some future destination, okay? So the quote is from this book, Who Am I by Sri Ramana Maharshi, a book which is like 16 pages, but I've made so many videos on this channel. And this is like the book that I'm constantly recommending to everybody right now. So by the way, if you haven't read this book and you truly want to deepen your realization, click the link in the description box below. I'll link it over there. It's just on Amazon. It's like $3, okay? I don't make any money off of this. So the quote is, happiness is the very nature of the self. Happiness and self are not different. There is no happiness in any object of the world. We imagine through our own ignorance that we derive happiness from objects. When the mind goes out, it experiences misery. In truth, when its desires are fulfilled, it returns to its own place and enjoys the happiness that is the self. Similarly, in states of sleep, samadhi, and feigning, when the object desired is obtained or the object disliked is removed, the mind becomes inward turned and enjoys pure self-happiness. Thus, the mind moves without rest, alternately going out of the self and returning back to it. So I wanted to read this quote because it like symbolizes this journey of life in the physical so well. So as you know, like I do a lot of calls, right? I do a lot of coaching and I do a lot of calls for it. So I speak to a lot of people who, tell me what they want in this life. And it's very similar to my own journey, right? All of our desires usually revolve around either money, right? Finances, your career goal, whatever you want to do in life, right? Your passion, purpose, relationship, or health. Usually around these four areas. And all of us have outward desires in these areas, and we have such a story around them, and we give them so much significance, and we rest our happiness within these desires, that if these desires are achieved, then I can finally be happy. So whenever I do my calls or whenever I really talk to even my friends, there's always a time when I ask them, right, what emotions will you feel when you actually have these desires fulfilled, right? What is it that you seek so badly out of this experience? Because if you want a car, right, it's not so much that you just want that physical object, but you want the state that it will bring you, the state of being that you will be able to habitually feel if you had it. Same with the relationship, same with that health, or same with whatever you may want in your life right now, right? So I always bring it up. What is it that you desire so deeply? What state of being? And it's always, always, always revolving around these qualities. This sense of relief, right? Sense of freedom, sense of happiness, peace, joy. Right? All of these things are really the same thing, like just in different, described in different ways. And so we all want this happiness. We all want this joy. We all want this peace. But we rest all of these qualities within our outward desires. And we live from the perspective of this little person in a big world, that it now has to achieve these desires in order to feel those qualities of happiness, peace, relief, freedom. But it's so paradoxical that those qualities are our true nature. Those qualities are not separate from us. Those qualities are you at your core. But because your conditioning is that you are this person separate from your true nature, separate from everything, separate from life, and that you have to achieve these things in order to feel those qualities, we suffer, right? Because that's our conditioning, and because we live through that perspective, not recognizing our true nature right here and now, right? It's not somewhere in the future. It's not somewhere away from you. It's right here. It is the awareness through which you're looking. It is the self that you refer to when you say I. Because we fail to recognize that, we fail to feel these emotions, these states of being on a habitual basis. And because we feel separate, because we create this sense of separation between like what we feel as this separate person in a big world, separate from all of creation, because we constantly project that belief, we suffer. And so I want to invite you with this video to really question the perspective through which you come at life with. I want you to consider this quote once again, right? Don't just hear this and think like, oh, those are not some nice words, and then just go ignore it, right? Go back to your chasing. I'm not even telling you to give up your desires. No, not at all. It's a very valuable part of the journey. However, there's a huge difference, guys, when you chase your desires versus when you are actually abiding in that self, in the recognition of your completeness, and through that, creating your life. Because then even the journey becomes fun. Then even not having those desires yet still brings you happiness. Because again, happiness cannot be found in any object of the world. That is a pure illusion that your mind is generating right now. And you have felt this and you have experienced this in your life countless times when you wanted that relationship so badly and you got it, and then you still weren't really happy after maybe a couple of days. When you wanted that job so badly and you got it, and then again, the mind creates misery. When you wanted that house, or you wanted that car, or you wanted that promotion, and you got it, and then again, the mind creates misery. So see, as long as you continue to live through the perspective of the separate self, through the mind, through this person, then you will always create suffering. You will always create this sense of lack, no matter what you attain in the physical world. The lack that you experience is there because of this sense of separation. But only once you start to inquire the nature of this self, of the awareness, of the sense of aliveness coming from you, right? This awareness that is the knower of all of your experience. Only when you start to inquire and meditate on your own true nature do you begin to recognize the wholeness that you are, the completeness that you are. Only then your sense of self starts to shift into that awareness, rather than being a person, into that awareness. And so there are two parts of this journey, right? One is recognizing what you are, and the second is abiding in the recognition of what you are. So many of us, right, are in that state where we still haven't recognized who we are. Yeah, okay, on the spiritual journey, we say, I am not my thoughts. I am this awareness. No, the intellectual answer is not going to satisfy you. The intellectual answer is not going to do anything for you. You have to truly start to experience this. You have to start to contemplate. You have to start to like actually ask yourself, right? Who is the I? Who is the self that is actually able to choose one thought over the other? You so quickly say, oh yeah, I'm thinking negative thoughts. Okay, who is the I? Where is this I springing up from within you that is choosing negative thoughts over positive thoughts, or positive thoughts over negative thoughts? Don't just stay at the surface level. Go a little deeper. Recognize your true self. Your higher self is not something outside of you, separate from you. It is that very I that you refer to, but because you just stay on the surface level of that recognition, you don't allow yourself to go deeper. Ask yourself, right? Who is the I that is thinking about what Sunny is saying right now? Right? Who is the I that is the knower of all of these words in your head? What is the knower of it? What is the perceiver of those, of this voice? And start to stay with that a little bit. Start to inquire within it. Don't think about it. Inquire, where is this sense of self coming, sense of individuality coming from within? And so that's the recognition part of it, right? Once you start to truly experientially recognize that you are this awareness, rather than these bundle of thoughts, emotions, and perceptions and feelings, this physical, flesh. And once you begin to recognize it more and more, then you have to now abide in that self, abide in the recognition of it. And when you do, right, there is no thought. Because thought is what creates this constant sense of separation that continues to keep you chasing. But once you begin to abide in the self more and more and more, then you start to create from presence. You start to create from that happiness. You actually start to feel that happiness right here and now. You start to feel that peace right here and now. You start to feel unaffected by the physical, by the drama of what is going on, not just even outside, right? What we normally refer to outside, but even in this body. Maybe the pains that are going on, the resistances that are going on. You start to feel detached even from that. You become the watcher of that. You start to stay in your true place rather than believing that you're this body. And only then can you feel the happiness that is you. That happiness no longer comes from like you believe right now that the happiness is coming from attaining an object, but you start to realize that the happiness that you feel is that wholeness of what you are at your very core. Even when your mind does achieve or attain an object in this outside world, which is still within your awareness, by the way, it is not outside anywhere. But when you do attain an object or achieve something, even then, the mind actually subsides back into the self, and it comes back to its own self, and you experience the happiness that is your true nature, rather than you thinking that the happiness is coming from this object, this car, or this house, or this relationship. So lastly, I will simply just read the quote again, to end off this video, because just really allow this to sink in. Don't think about it. Don't try to intellectualize it. Simply question the self that is hearing this. What is that I from within me that is actually receiving these words? Right? When I constantly say I am thinking, I am doing, where is that sense of I springing up from? And just stay with that. Happiness is the very nature of the self. Happiness and self are not different. There is no happiness in any object of the world. We imagine through our own ignorance that we derive happiness from objects. When the mind goes out, it experiences misery. In truth, when its desires are fulfilled, it returns to its own place and enjoys the happiness that is the self. Similarly, in states of sleep, samadhi, and fainting, and when the object desired is obtained or the object disliked is removed, the mind becomes inward turned and enjoys pure self-happiness. So if you want to start enjoying pure self-happiness more and more, you need to start picking up this practice of recognizing what you truly are and then abiding in what you truly are. And once you start to create from that, now that is a powerful way to live. And that's why I believe that the program that I offer, in which I actually teach this process, is the best program. And I know I'm a little biased, but it is the best program to create your reality actually from a perspective of abundance, rather than constantly projecting this lack and chasing your desires, chasing your fulfillment. Your fulfillment is nowhere to be found. If your fulfillment is not here, you will never manifest your fulfillment. And I know that's harsh, but it's the truth. If you in this moment are projecting a sense of separation, projecting a sense of non-fulfillment, lack, then you will continue to manifest a present moment within which you will feel lackful, and within which there will be no fulfillment, no happiness, because again, you are coming from that separate self perspective. So if that program resonates with you, link is in the description box below. I would love to help you through this journey and manifest your desired life from your happiness and create that, your most purest expression. So free consult for that is down below. But other than that, get this book. It's only $3 and it will change your life. It will change your entire spiritual journey. This is real spirituality, right? Away from all the concepts, away from intellectualization of the truth. This is pure experience of the truth. And you start to truly, make profound leaps in that realization just by practicing wholeheartedly. So if you have any questions regarding that, please put them in the comment section below. Let's create this, right? Like there's such a big spiritual culture around the world now. Let's actually create authenticity within this culture rather than, again, following these little techniques and gimmicks to like, manifest your specific person or a little like here and there, like these little things that we believe are going to bring us happiness. Let's get to the core of what we actually are and then create from that, create our most natural expression that we are, meant to be experiencing from that, from our fulfillment, from our happiness. Because by doing so, you not only help yourself, but you actually help the entire world. You help enlighten the entire world. So let's create that sense of authenticity, that sense of truth in this spiritual culture. Let's not feed it further with desire for more gimmicks and techniques and false practices and concepts that just, again, create clouds on top of your true self. Let's actually work to remove the clouds, get deeper into your understanding, and start to recognize what we actually are. And creating from that perspective. Definitely went on a little bit of a rant on this video that was not planned. But again, if you enjoyed this video, give me a thumbs up. Let me know what resonated with you in this video and what didn't maybe. But subscribe to this channel and I will see you in the next video.